This guy, I
Oh, they're looking for Lincoln?
I wear that all the time. But
529, right, Alderman?
What are you looking for?
Sorry, clerk. 5:30. The January 6, 2026 meeting of the City Council is called to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk Redpath, can you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Alderman Cox.
Here.
Alderman Gregory.
Here.
Alderman Williams. Alderman Rockford.
Here.
Alderwoman Purchase. Alderwoman Natriano.
Here.
Alderman Carlson.
Here.
Alderwoman Conley.
Present.
Alderman Donlin.
Here.
Alderman Hanauer.
Here.
Mayor Busher.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Clerk. I appreciate it. The civility pledge: in the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. There are no proclamations or presentations this evening. The chair will now entertain a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the December 16th, 2025 regular City Council meeting and approve the minutes.
So move, Mayor.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion from the alders? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those
Aye.
opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The chair will entertain a motion to incorporate the pre-council first reading of ordinances into the record of this council meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion from the alders on first reading? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to incorporate the pre-council reading of the consent agenda into the record of this council meeting.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The chair will entertain a motion to place the consent agenda on final passage.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Alderman Hanauer.
Yes, I would like to make sure I'm a present vote on 2025-518, please.
Alderman Hanauer will be voting present on ordinance 2025-518. We good there? Okay. Any other discussion from the alders on the consent agenda? Seeing none, the voting will now be open. All those in favor of the motion will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. Sir. Okay, and the motion passes with 8 voting yes, none voting no. The next item on the agenda, agenda items 2025-497 and 2025-499 remain tabled or in committee at this time. The next item on the agenda is 2025-527, an ordinance amending Chapter 90, Section 90.15 of the 1988 City of Springfield Code of Ordinances as amended by adding a new liquor classification of P. The chair will now entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we adopt amendment number, I guess it's number 1.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt amendment number 1 on this.
Bless you.
God bless you. On this particular ordinance. Is there any discussion on the amendment from the alders first?
Sorry.
Alderwoman Conley, you have discussion on the amendment?
Thank you. Yes,
ma'am.
Mayor. I was just wanted to make sure, I'm assuming this went before the Liquor Commission. We're limiting the sales to, I'm just looking at it real quickly, permanent structures and mobile units. So basically anyone, I'm sorry, if we could just have a little understanding of what
It's
this
still
says.
within the confines of of a sports park area. So there can be mobile units within the designated area, but those cannot leave. So like a cart
Okay.
can be put, or a mobile concession stand can be put out there, but it can't leave the premises, which will be the fenced-in area as you envision it.
So, like, if someone has a food truck that has, would that be something that would be considered a mobile unit because that leaves at the end of the day?
No, that would not, because one, that wouldn't be allowed into the licensed premises.
Okay.
And then two, that food truck, no food truck would be eligible for a Class P license.
Okay, but if someone owned a food truck, could they set up a booth there as a mobile unit?
Well, they would still need to be, the licensee would still fall under, or the alcohol would still be sold under the Class P license.
Okay.
So the license holder would need to, they would need to apply for that license, and I don't believe that's the setup that's intended. This would be for the sports park operator to sell alcohol within the sports park.
That's kind of what I wanted to get at. This is really just intended for the operator of the sports park, with specific limits on how the sales can occur.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you very much, appreciate it.
Any other discussion, Alderwoman?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Any discussion from any of the other alders on the amendment itself? Okay, so we have a motion and a second to adopt the amendment. So I'm going to just do a voice vote on the adoption for the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment will say aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have the amendment. Now the chair will entertain a motion to place 2025-527 as amended on,
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
would that be for approval?
Yes.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to move 2025-527 for approval as amended. Any discussion on the ordinance itself? Seeing none, voting will, did someone click their button for, okay. Seeing none, the voting will now be open. All those in favor of the motion will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And the motion passes with 8 voting yes, none voting no. So, and then there is a proprietor here that is in the sports park, if anyone wanted to hear from that person that supports this. So I think that everybody's really fine with that. Thank you for being here. So the chair will now ask the council, is there any unfinished business to bring forward? Any alders have any unfinished business? Alderman Gregory.
Yes, ma'am. I guess this will be, unfinished and new. So in our cannabis grants, contracts, it has come to my attention that we have some language in there, about felons and,
About what, sorry?
about felons.
Oh, felons.
Felons,
I'm sorry, I didn't
yes.
hear what you said.
And, which is sort of crazy because, the whole cannabis law was to address the harm by the war on drugs. 500 grams or less, that would be a felony. A lot of records was expunged from Corporation Council before. So to have that language in there, not that we've withheld that, but it's troubling to have that because it does scare others off when they see those agreements. And with this whole cannabis thing, Mayor, some of these grantees, they've gone out and they've taken loans, some up to $100,000. That's another barrier. But heck of a job going to do that to try to do something like that.
So what are you asking for,
So then,
Alderman?
just hear me out.
Okay.
Then we go on and we're calling their vendors. They have to show their bank accounts. I mean, it just seems like the standard for this particular fund is just so high, and it doesn't need to be. I did look into many of the rules. The state, the law that's quoted in this section is about procurement and contracts and bids with the state. It has nothing to do with local cannabis tax sales and what we do with those funds. In fact, there is no state law that prohibits a felon from getting a grant. There's some things on the federal level, forgery, things of that nature that disqualify them from getting a grant through an organization. So that's troubling. So what I have asked is that we look at that language and we take that language out of that. I don't care how long it's been there. Maybe it's been there since the first mayor. Hell, I don't know, but it's troubling.
So your request is to look at the way the grant was set up originally?
I know that's not in the ordinance. That's something that was done once it leaves the council.
Okay, I'll get with the Economic Development Director. We'll have
So
someone
thank you.
follow up with you.
But so not only that though, Mayor, but if these grantees are going to be going through all of this, then I would ask that the same be for all. When we pay anybody They would have to show their bank receipts. We should call their vendors, check up on them. We should treat everybody the same.
If you'd like to meet and have a meeting on grants, we can, but a lot of our grants are reimbursable, and we have to have proof that they've paid it if it's a reimbursement, sir.
Right, but this is not. This is a cannabis grant.
Right, but you were
This
just
is not-
comparing it to other grants.
I know, so that's even worse because we're not doing that to them. We're not, when we paid the sports complex $4 million, we didn't say, hey, send me your bank account and show me that you paid $4 million for the work that we're about to reimburse you back. We didn't call the turf vendor and make sure that
That's not a grant, though.
it doesn't matter. It's just the payments. This is a
So is your
fund that
question
comes
about
from
grants
us.
or about payments in
no.
general?
It's just about how we're doing things as a administration, Mayor. And it just appears, because we always deal with this, we always have to call and get involved, that after it leaves this council, that any fund that we get has to go through, over here on the east side anyway, has to go through so many steps, and it's just unfair to do that.
So can you please define what you're asking?
To break down the barriers that you've set up. Take out this felony thing, pay the contractors directly, do some of
I
the
don't
things that we need to do to
Know
get the
that this
funding out.
administration set up anything that's different. I will check with the Economic Development Director
So-
on your cannabis grants.
so how about
But we
this?
will still follow grant regulations and laws with federal and state grants.
Okay.
This
So-
administration will follow
So this is
the
what I want to
rules.
do, because this system in general and how we do things is very old, it's very outdated. So this is what I want to do, Murdoch. I have drafted an ordinance, and it's a commission that we need to put together to look at everything, and it's going to be called the 1908 Race Riot Repair Commission. And this commission is going to be designed, just like all of our other commissions, to look at our systems of where we can do better at. Because here we are, got a grant that has some language in there that is a clear barrier. Supposed to help the community and uplift the community. We talk about felons. The only place that many times when I get the call from a felon that we can send them is to the laborers, to a union contractor. So that same person can't come work on a project in this community under this language, or hold a business or qualify for this grant. So we need things like this, because if we're serious about equality and making sure things are equal, then when we see barriers, we fix them. But I can't, it is selfish for me to think that anybody else can understand how I feel, right? Or how people who look like me feel. So that's why we need a commission like this to put more eyes on our systems to help them get better, so we can be better, so our communities can grow. Because if we can get that community growing, and if we can make it easier and accessible for that community, then everybody, we've heard the rumors, right? It's hard to do business in Springfield. If we can get this portion of our city together, everything else gonna be beautiful, even more easier than what it is right now. The contractors, when they go, they tell some of these people, yeah, we don't go through this sometimes on other projects, because they don't, and we know they don't. Next week, when Broaden and the other company want their $100,000 for their thing, for their snow removal, bank statements showing that they paid all their employees, they got the money to do it. Call one of the guys and make sure they got paid. That's what we should do, because that's what we're doing to our people. So, we read that pledge every day, civility, civility, civility. There's another piece of me that want to act a different way. But really, I just want our community to be better. I just want for others to get a chance. That's it. And I have to let all of y'all know this because this is a serious topic. And if we truly, truly care about making our city better, you guys should know about things like this because I'm going to come up here and always talk about it. Roy, Keisha always going to come up here and talk about it. But some of the people in this room that I respect, when y'all going to stand up, politics aside, and be like, no, this is wrong. We need to get the money out quicker. We need to fix whatever's broken. That's what we need as a community, for other people to step up. Or else it looks like I'm just clowning. But the truth is, those things was wrong. And no, we don't like coming up here talking about this all the time. No, this ain't all your fault, Mayor. But this system sucks for us. It really, truly does. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderwoman Notriano.
Thank you, Mayor. So I wasn't going to say anything. I didn't know Alderman Gregory was going to bring this up. But I would absolutely support a commission like that. I think that, yeah, but of course, we should be making sure that all of our programs are equitable based on who the target audience is. So I support that. I would only suggest that if there's a way that we can create this commission to where it's controlled by the council, that would be even better.
Absolutely.
But what I was going to say is sort of related to what you're talking about. So y'all will remember a couple of meetings ago, we passed funding an award to a resident of mine who lives in the 1600 block of South Passfield for exterior home improvements. He had a water line that was broken, and he's been unemployed for a while, and he lives in the house, he owns the house, and so he definitely qualifies for the program. He thought he was going to get paid by CWLP because they also had to do some work related to the lead line, but that didn't happen, that didn't turn out, and so he came to me asking for us to at least pitch in and reimburse him for half of the work that was done. And we did that. And when I asked for us to write something up to reimburse him, I had asked that there be no stipulations, no clawback, no anything like that. And unfortunately, that was left out, and he has been asked to sign a 5-year clawback agreement. And I just think that in this circumstance, he should not have to do that. And simply because, him replacing his water line was something he had to do to keep the house livable, and it will in no way benefit him when he goes to sell this home. So I understand the intention of the 5-year clawback as written, but this case just really doesn't apply. So I hope in the coming weeks we'll see that revisited with a new ordinance to get him this money and not have any stipulations on it. So wanted to let you all know that that was coming and to again request your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Any, excuse me, any other unfinished business from any of the alders? Let the record show that Alderwoman Purchase has joined us too. Welcome, Alderwoman. Any new business then, since we're done with unfinished business, any new business to come before the council? Seeing none?
Oh, sorry, Mayor.
Alderwoman Conley.
You are getting faster
All
than me
good.
these days. Mine is minor in some ways compared to the other topics so far, but just want to, and I'm assuming Director Fuchs is in the room, continue to get complaints about garbage that comes out of waste haulers and or the last one was from the Cokie Mill area, recycling. I got a picture today, and I'll share this with the director, but of what really looks like recycling that was just, it blows out, it's on the side of the road. Cokie Mill's a busy road. We do get a lot of, I think, window fly dumping on that road, but it would be nice, just kind of reach out to the waste haulers, especially the ones with, the Republic has the big arm. I know they're the ones who have it, to make sure that they're watching when they're doing the dumping, that it goes into the truck and not blowing around the neighborhoods. Alderman Gregory, I can't imagine how many times we've talked about fly dumping. We certainly don't want our garbage trucks to be part of the fly dumping, even inadvertently, which I know they're not doing it deliberately, but inadvertently we are seeing this. And Cokie Mill is such a busy road, as just one example. I've seen this in other neighborhoods too. So I'll be getting that email out to the director, but if anyone else has examples of it and just want to share those with the director, Fuchs. I know it's not limited to just one ward where those big arm trucks can create some garbage.
Director is here, and he can have Christina call and check on that.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor. That's all.
Yep. Alderman Rockford.
Yes, Director Fuchs.
I'll let him sit.
My question is, in Corporation Council, maybe, sorry, Dave, you may not even had to come up, but what's the rules on these garbage cans when they dump these cans and they leave them in the roads? Is there an ordinance, is there rules that these things have to be taken out of the street by the resident, or, I mean?
They're not supposed to be on the pavement, in the street, no, sir.
Okay, so they're on the street. So my question is do we have an ordinance, and sorry that I haven't investigated it, but I got a couple calls over the weekend about 40 garbage, cans in the streets, and looks like, and so my question is we've had people get tickets for not shoveling their sidewalks, okay? My question is, do we ticket people for not taking their garbage cans, or is that even on the books? Do we know the garbage cans in the streets? I know it's just common courtesy to, when your garbage is dumped, to go get your cans and even move them on the boulevard, But again, even during the snows, when the cans were sitting out in the road, the plow trucks have to go around them, because they are on the main drags too, 11th Street, Converse, and I'm just giving you a couple in the north end, but they are sitting in the streets and they become an obstacle. Either they're laying down, the high winds the other day, we knocked cans down, there's garbage all over, and I know that the garbage men have a hard time keeping the garbage in their trucks, but again, is there a rule, or is there an ordinance stating that these things have to be pushed back to the house or to the?
Yes, I can send you that ordinance. I
Okay.
don't have it off the top of my head, but the property owner is responsible for ensuring the cans are brought back up to the house. I will also inquire with code enforcement to see if we ever have written a ticket or a complaint on that. I'm just not sure, but I can get you that information.
And again, looking back, in years back, the trucks went up and down the alleys and they picked up your garbage. I know on the west side with no alleys and that kind of stuff, you got to make your, pick and choose what you do. But I just don't understand. We've moved everything out. We've had the waste haulers up there talking about our trucks got bigger. We didn't ask them to make bigger trucks. It's easier for them. But now our roads are getting tore up. We leave garbage cans in the street. It's common courtesy for the resident or the person that's renting to drag them up on the boulevard, at least in the boulevard, get them out of the streets. People can't park out there, over my neck of the woods. We don't have driveways in a lot of places because they're renters and they got to park on the streets, not with 50 garbage cans up and down the roads. So my question is, Corporation Council, if you could check, I just think it's, we sit in front of an audience on Tuesdays, put out newsletters and bills or whatever, and remind people, when your garbage gets dumped, drag your cans back up. You have to carry your garbage out to the street to put them in the cans. It'd be simpler for the people just to reach out their door and put it in a can and then haul it out once a week. So, it's common courtesy, but again, it's an eyesore. you know?
Yes, sir, and if you have specific locations, I'd be glad to.
Man,
take-
whole north end. No, I don't need that.
That's
No,
not real
there's-
specific, but
Yeah, no, I can give you,
Please do.
but blocks and blocks, you know? So, thank you.
Alderman Carlson, do you need the
Yeah,
director to
just quickly,
stay?
Alderman Rockford, good point on the garbage. But you brought up, and do you know, have we written a ticket for someone not shoveling their drive?
Yes.
We have done that.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Did you need the director?
We have done that for not shoveling their sidewalk?
I've had
I can't say we haven't.
But Larry,
I know
I'm
a
just
guy
asking, I
that called
didn't-
me that he got a ticket and to shovel his walk. Now, whether his neighbors just don't like him, I don't know that, but,
And those
No,
are
you know what I mean?
generated by
Wasn't it?
specific complaints.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what.
Okay.
yeah.
Chuck,
Wasn't
what'd
your
that
house,
cost
was
you?
it?
I'm not gonna tell you who, but.
I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm kidding,
Mine's
Alderman.
always shoveled.
Thank you, Mayor, that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Anything else, Alderman Rockford?
No, thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you, Director. With that, we will go to citizens who have signed up in advance to address the council. Clerk Redpath.
Ken Pesha.
Evening, everybody. Happy 2026. Hopefully we do better this year, all of us, not just you guys, me included. We've all got work to do. And I think Sean brought up some really important points about the work that needs done. We've watched at this council in the last year and a half, and before that, black organizations come up here for money, as well as East Side divisions, and they have done everything short of being forced to put on a minstrel show for a pittance of money. $30,000, $50,000. Money that we watch flow out of this door. You guys literally shoved that entire agenda out the door. That was millions of dollars, guys. And yet I've sat here for an hour and a half, watch Better Life, Better Living for Kids, have to do everything short of tell you their secret, their absolute secrets, right? Like literally like stuff they wouldn't even tell their wives to get some money from you guys that was actually ready to be reimbursed. It's fascinating the amount of work that we make the East Side do to receive money for things. And the idea that a cannabis grant, which by the way was established by the governor here in Illinois, to help do what? Repair the damage done by decades of an erroneous war on drugs that we're now seeing our president drag the corpse out of the closet and put on display again. The war on drugs failed. Drugs won, everybody. I can go buy some right now, and you guys get benefits from it. And one of the explicit instructions about where that money went was the neighborhoods that were disenfranchised by an undue police presence that created a school-to-prison pipeline that put 1 in 4 black men under the age of 40 in prison. And yet we're saying that felons don't have access. Why don't they have access? Are they not disenfranchised enough for you fine folks? Have we not gotten our blood from them yet, with their time served in a society that fails to forgive people that have, in fact, served their time? I had somebody this week print up my county record for the crimes I committed in my youth and try and disparage me for the choices I made in a neighborhood they never grew up in circumstances you've never considered. And it's frustrating to think about the idea that there are people who had it 10 times harder than me. Because I'm not going to play a tiny violin for my life, but quite frankly, those things still haunt me. So it's frustrating to think about the idea that a program that was created with the intention of helping repair some of that damage has a barrier in front of it that would prevent the very people that were disenfranchised in the first place from accessing it. Additionally, the idea that a lot of that funding, where's it go? You guys just approved it tonight, I'm sure you know. To the very police force's pensions. Some of the very officers that participated in that war on drugs. We fund their retirement with that money. What's their barrier? Do they have one? I'm not aware of one. I don't see anything in front of them to get that money. We push the button on that the second it comes up. You don't want to piss off the union, do you? But you don't mind upsetting the East Side. You don't mind creating another feasibility study and stacking it on the shelf with decades of them, talking about developing my side of town. When's that going to happen? It took 40 years to get sidewalks fixed in front of my house. 40 years. It's the number one reason they stop young black men on the east side walking in the street. I mean, these things are all connected. And a thing like the 1908 Race Riot Commission, I hope you guys approve it 10-0. Because if you don't, your motives will be suspect at this point. The idea that somebody who recused themselves from voting on a city contract for a family member who, by the way, was employed by the city for over 20-plus years. He retired 2 years ago, and now we're paying him $50K for a consulting contract? What's the fine line work on that one? We make him do a dance for that, or we just go, go on, Ralph and Scotty, get some more money out of the city. That's a joke. It should embarrass all of you that we have to consider creating a commission to access money that was specifically earmarked to help a side of town that has been disenfranchised in a way that is almost indescribable. The quiet indignity and humiliation of living with a felony in this world and not even being able to receive a decent job because of it, despite serving your time in a world that is focused on making you be punished for those crimes. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm going to spend my last 5 seconds talking about the budget workshops on January 14th, 15th, the 22nd, February 3rd, February 10th, and February 17th. If you're a citizen of Springfield, please come out. They're going to be talking about the budget for 2026 for every major city department. I encourage you to come out.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Matriano, did you have something you wanted to say?
I did, thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to correct what Mr. Pasha just said. Alderman Hanauer did not recuse himself. He asked to be counted as present. I guess he was not given any advice on how he should vote. Thank you.
Lori McKiernan.
Good evening. My first topic tonight is funding for an IRP. My days and nights these days are filled with data centers right now, so I don't know if I'll be able to attend the CWLP budget hearing or city council meetings leading up to it. In the FY26 budget, you approved $600,000 for an IRP. CWLP delayed and didn't begin the IRP process, so the money was forfeited as it was explained to me. It doesn't carry over into the next budget. Mayor Busher and Doug Brown convinced me not to worry, that the money would be included in the FY27 budget. So I didn't see a line item for the IRP in the budget when I looked online. I don't know if it warrants its own line item, but I'm here tonight just to remind you that CERJA, the Clean and Reliable Grid Affordability Act, requires municipal utilities to do an IRP by 2027. So I hope to hear an IRP mentioned in the budget hearing for CWLP. So speaking of data centers, I want to tell you about Batavia, Illinois' recently approved data center. Batavia operates its own municipal utility via NIMPA. NIMPA is the Northern Illinois Municipal Power Agency. It's similar to IMEA that we see down here. They get their electricity from Prairie State, the coal-burning power plant southeast of St. Louis, and they use ComEd transmission lines and grid. Hut 8 is the developer in Batavia, the same developer proposing a 500-megawatt data center in Logan County. Hut 8 will be building a 500-megawatt data center in Batavia. So Batavia's similarity to Springfield in that it has its own municipal utility, even though they don't generate their own power. In Batavia's contract with the developer, the city required the developer to buy their power directly from PJM. That's their grid operator, similar to MISO down here. Batavia did that because they don't have enough power to support the data center. The developer is proud to claim that they're paying for the grid updates. They like to make shiny promises. However, the substation that will service the data center is owned by Batavia's municipal utility. It has a capacity of 150 megawatts. Batavia's utility can reach a peak of 85 megawatts, and the data center at its peak will use up to 50 megawatts, leaving only a spare 15 megawatts of capacity on that substation for future energy users once the data center is online. So until that substation is upgraded, the city is limited on the economic development they can do. So in their negotiations with the developer, the city neglected to require the developer to pay for that substation upgrade, so the customers in Batavia are paying for it. So my point with all that information is that a municipal utility made a contract and approved a data center without using their own power. CWLP has said several times that Springfield will never have a data center because they don't generate enough power to support one, and Springfield doesn't have land available to build one. But Batavia has shown that it can be done. There are annexations from county to cities and rezoning from agricultural to conditional use to accommodate data centers all over the state, all over the country. Data centers are being built purely for investment and profit for tech billionaires and private equity firms like BlackRock. They rarely provide any benefit to communities. Even the projected tax revenues are just that, projections. They're promises. Promises of tax revenues that can be appealed and reduced after the data center is built. So again, my point is it can happen here. Data center developers have the financial backing to fund just about any obstacle put in front of them. The only thing stopping them is zoning regulations, and once a permit has been filed, it's difficult to change those regulations and make them apply to an open permit applications. So my ask is that you, Mayor Busher, City Council, and Mr. Mourdock begin looking at what Springfield can do regarding data center zoning regulations. We already have a data center knocking at our back door. Ignoring this issue is reckless and has the potential to allow the blight of a data center on our front steps. Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk?
Vanessa Knox.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I just want to reiterate last part of Ken's plea. We are asking the community to make sure that they come out for the budget workshops starting next week. Wednesday, January 14th at 5:30. All of this information is on the website. Sometimes it's a little hard to get it, so I just want to reiterate. January 14th, that's the first budget workshop that will be dealing with the overview, treasurer, city clerk, city council, mayor, and the SCVP is dealing with the visitors bureau for Springfield. Thursday, January 15th at 5:30 will be the second budget workshop dealing with library, OPED, human resources, public works, OBM. I'm not sure on that one, if Mayor could let me know what OBM.
Office of Budget Management.
Budget Management, okay. Thursday, January 22nd, 5:30, third budget workshop. That will be dealing with police, fire, and CWLP. A lot of groups come down here. More are, of course, watching than can fit down here. We need everyone to come out. If you have concerns, if you have things you just want to talk about or ask questions, please, please, please come to these workshops. Money is what makes a lot of these efforts happen in Springfield, so we're asking that you come out, voice your concerns, ask your questions, be there to be part of the solution for some of these things. Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk?
Roy Walton. Roy Walton.
Mr. Walton, are you here? All right. Motion?
To adjourn. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?